Hello and welcome back to Learn Energy Healing. Apologies to those who've been following along because I haven't really put up anything for the last couple of months. Been a bit too busy with different things. So I thought I'd quickly pop up a video of a different technique that you might like. And that is using mudras. So M-U-D-R-A-S, mudra. And they're basically just different hand positions that you can use to move energy in certain ways and for different purposes. They're quite often used for people on their own when they're doing their own meditative practices to clear their own aura or to have certain experiences. But I have used these a number of times in the past for healing, especially distance healing. And yeah, so I thought, seeing as I used that technique quite recently, I thought, why not do a video about it? See if anyone likes it, see if anyone finds this useful. So there are 6 mudras that I will show you today. There are plenty more out there if you want to go and explore. But essentially these 6 mudras, 3 of them encourage energy to come into the body in different parts, into the different parts of the aura, into certain chakras. And others, the other 3, help to discharge energy from those areas. So typically with these mudras, I would do this with distance healing, like I said earlier. It would be a bit weird if someone came to me in person and I just sat there with my mudras in front of them and didn't wave my hands around and didn't talk too much. I think people would probably find that weird, but you know, it is possible. So it's more something that I would use at a distance typically. So let's show you the first one. So the first 3 I will do are ones to help clear energy from the body and the aura. Okay, so this is the first mudra. This is the first hand position. So the fingertip of your first finger is touching the tip of your thumb. Okay, and then the other fingers are relatively straight. They don't have to be that straight, just nice and relaxed. And it kind of forms a 6 or a 9 shape. Okay, and you would face your hand downwards, okay, and do it on the other side as well. So normally I would rest these on my thigh, so sorry I can't move the chair further back, I'm afraid, to show you resting them on my thigh, but basically you rest them that way up, okay, fingertip to tip of the thumb, and rest palm facing down on your thighs. And this particular mudra helps with clearing energy from the lower 2 chakras, the pelvis, the legs. And typically when I've used it on myself, I haven't necessarily noticed something straight away. Sometimes I do, it's really obvious. But sometimes it's really obvious and really gets going and really creates more and more momentum the longer I do it. So there's been times where I've typically done that for half an hour just with the one mudra, and then it just starts to really clear and open up the chakras, the bottom 2 chakras and the legs. Okay. And typically with the distance healing technique, especially if you're doing the merging technique that I've shown you in earlier videos, you know, anything that you feel is clearing from the lower areas and the lower 2 chakras can be used to help the same happen in the person you're working on. Okay. Or at the very least, if you feel that you're more clear through there, it's easier to channel energies to someone in the same area if you're feeling a good flow of energy through there. Okay, so I would typically just sit there, eyes closed, especially with the merging technique where I pretend to be them, feel the energy clearing through those bottom chakras and legs, and they benefit through that way. Okay, I hope that's enough of an explanation. You can always ask me to do another video to show it if you really want. Okay, so that's the first mudra, fingertip to the tip of the thumb. The next one is very similar. You just move the tip of your finger to the first joint of your thumb, okay, like so. So it's very, very similar, kind of like a 6 or a 9. Again, the other 3 fingers are just nice and relaxed, fairly straight. And again, palms facing down, rest them on your thighs. And this clears more the torso of the body. There is a bit of an overlap, by the way, with these mudras. So quite often when I'm using this mudra, the second one I'm showing you now, I will still feel things clear in the pelvis and higher up as well. So there is a little bit of an overlap with some of the chakras and some of the energy roots. But typically this would clear, second, third, fourth, maybe a little bit into the throat chakra as well. Okay. So same again, the longer you leave it, the more powerful you might feel it is. It might be more obvious with this mudra if you're better at sensing into that part of your body. But yeah, that's essentially the second mudra. The third mudra, okay, so we're here at the moment. So the next mudra is you move your fingertip of your first finger onto the second joint of your thumb. So it's kind of like a 6 or a 9 again, but smaller. Okay, if I show you from this angle as well, that's what it looks from that angle. So same again, palm facing down, rest them on your thighs, and this clears now the upper chakras, so neck and head, and the 6th and 7th chakras as well. Again, a little bit of an overlap. I quite often feel it into the upper back when I do this myself, for example. And again, leave it as long as you feel you need it, or whoever you're working on to. Okay, so with those three, fingertip to the tip of the thumb is the first one for the lower 2 chakras and legs. Move the tip of the finger into the first joint of the thumb, and that's more the torso. So the chakras and the aura of the middle of the body, the torso. And then the fingertip onto the second joint here for the neck and head and upper chakras. Okay. And you may well feel the energy flow differently in your hand as well if you're good at feeling energy flow in your hand. So those are the three that help clear energy away and help things free up if you feel that you have too much energy, if you haven't grounded your energy enough. The next three are for introducing energy, bringing energy in. So I'm sure many of you out there who've done meditation before will quite often have been told to have your palms up to receive when you're meditating. So similarly with these three mudras, you have your palm up this time, okay? So they're basically exactly the same as the other three mudras I've just shown, but your palms are upwards. So we got the mudra we did before with the fingertip of the first finger onto the thumb, but this time we're having our palm facing upwards. And again, those other three fingers fairly straight, okay? Don't know if I can show you very well. So if I just show you different angles, okay, but the palm facing up. Okay, same on the other hand. And again, just place your hands on your thighs. So this is to introduce energy into the lower 2 chakras, pelvis and legs, lower part of the aura, in other words. Okay, and you might feel the energy flow more easily into you this way. If you're sensitive enough with all of the mudras, you will feel energy going in and out, because that always happens. But of course, the emphasis now with the palms facing up is more energy coming in rather than going out. And yeah, I can feel a lovely tingle through my feet there and ankles going up my legs. Okay, and then same again. So we had that one for the discharging energy. Same again, we're just going to turn our hands up, palm upwards. So fingertip is on the first joint again. But we have our palms facing up, and again, place them on our thighs. And this is more for the torso, so the middle chakras. Okay, and then the third one again for introducing energy into the head and neck and the upper chakras will be fingertip again on the second joint, but this time with the palms facing upwards. Yeah, I can't really show that very well with this camera, but the palms are facing upwards like that and on my thighs. There we go. And I can already feel energy flowing up my neck, into the back of my head especially. Yeah. So yeah, very useful, very simple. They work simply because so many people believe in them, and of course the more of a belief there is in anything, the more real it becomes. So because it's a very common teaching in Eastern practices, and of course now in the West, where more and more things are brought over from the eastern parts of the world to the West, that's why they work. Even though I didn't intend for them to work in a certain way, just doing these hand positions, putting them in place and just seeing what happened, And that's what happened, exactly as they had described, because I'm obviously tuning into the collective consciousness of humanity and tuning into all of the people who believe that that's what these hand positions do. There are other explanations as well, of course, the flow of energy through different meridians, and but that's a much more simple explanation, I feel. So yeah, very simple technique for yourself or for healing others if you are using a merging technique, especially, as I've described in earlier videos. Yeah, hope that's useful. And please do like and subscribe to support this channel if you'd like to do that. And I will see you in the next video.